Some players used an ancient mechanic. Basically, they abused the tank's gun being solid for shells. There was a popular hobby among those players. Drive up to an allied SPG when it doesn't see them, place their gun into the SPG's gun, and wait until it shoots. The shell could explode on the tank's gun and deal huge high-explosive damage to the SPG itself.
From now on, if an HE shell crosses an allied gun, it will just fly right through. Because we're disabling friendly fire, an Arty can't deal damage, but we decided to allow them to stun allies like before. Imagine a situation when a player on a one-shottable vehicle clinches an enemy to avoid damage, survives and potentially avoids being shot by an enemy artillery. Without any effect on the allies, an Arty would be able to just send a shell into a group of allied and enemy vehicles and be unpunished, which would affect the battle dramatically. So, just as before, they'll have to think about who to target in order to avoid stunning allied vehicles and receiving the corresponding penalty.
Even with the new system, you can get a team killer status.
A player with this status will receive damage from shooting and ramming as the new mechanic stops working on them.
We're looking forward to your feedback. Enjoy the game.
Okay, I'm going to give my opinions on this. Right. Wargaming have addressed the barrel blocking problem. Okay. Which is good. Now I'm specifically talking from an artillery point of view here. They have addressed barrel blocking. But if you notice, what they were saying was that artillery will still be punished for giving stun to enemy to teammates.
To allies, yeah.
Okay. What they have not addressed is the people who will deliberately, when an artillery uses the T key to put the circles on the ground, the people who will deliberately drive in there so that the artillery ends up turning blue. Wargaming have not addressed this at all, and they're saying artillery should be punished for putting a shot into a group of tanks. But
there's a very easy solution for that. Even as the artillery player, you just don't. If you see that someone deliberately does it, you just don't place a T-down anymore.
Yeah, but sometimes you've already fired.
Yeah, but then
you've already fired. You mark your target, you fire, and then somebody drives in. You can't stop it.
Yeah, but stun damage doesn't count as high as direct damage. Like you
it will be, and artillery players will be getting banned because of it. Wargaming have already stated this. Artillery players will be getting banned because of arseholes driving into the bloody aiming circle. The thing is, people run into the circles on the ground already now, even when they know they're going to take actual damage from the artillery. So it's going to affect their game, but they're happy to deliberately run into the aiming circles, right?
So they can disable
just so that
artillery.
they can be hit by artillery, so that the artillery gets banned. Now what's going to happen when they are not going to get any damage by going into that circle? They're going to deliberately go in there anyway, now with impunity. It's going to happen even more. Now then, on the rebalancing of artillery, they took all experience, virtually all experience, away from actual damage done to enemy tanks. Right? The only experience that artillery get now is through stun damage or tracking damage. Actual damage done to vehicles is almost worthless now. So what Wargaming are doing is saying, okay, from now on, we don't want you to hit people who aren't being shot at. We want you to get your experience by shooting at people who are going to get shot at. Okay? And then they bring out this the new no team damage thing, where artillery are going to get penalised for doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing with the stun mechanic anyway. So now, for doing what we're supposed to be doing in game, we are going to end up getting bans. If you're going to do away with team damage, do away with it altogether. But anyway, the point is that artillery will now get banned, because the people who don't like artillery will, even more than they are already, drive into the aiming circles where artillery is saying it's going to fire. So it's going to have one of two effects. One, you're going to end up having a load more artillery getting banned, artillery players getting banned. Or two, artillery players are no longer going to use the T key at all, because they don't want people running into where they're aiming.
I hardly use the T key anyway, Zoe.
Well, you should do. That's why it's there, to let people know where you are aiming so that they won't drive in. That is the point of the T key on artillery. The point of the T key on light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers says, please will you aim at these people. It's calling, it's exactly what we were talking about earlier on. Yeah, about focused fire, and it's calling for focused fire. When artillery uses the T key, it is not calling for focused fire, it is saying, I'm firing here, beware. And now Wargaming are making it even easier for the trolls to deliberately troll the artillery and get artillery players banned. That is out of order. Oh, and one other thing. By the way, 1.6 is another Arty nerf. Right. Arty will be doing slightly more damage per shot along similar lines to the way that all tanks will be doing more damage per shot. And every tank is going to have more HP. Proportionally, artillery will be doing less percentage damage per shot on any tank. So even though the amount of damage artillery will be doing will be going up, percentage of the total health pool will be going down. So it's yet another secret nerf of artillery that they haven't told us about.